Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com. And it's time again for the LCS guys, where we bring together some local comic shop guys from around the country and sit down and chew the fat, talk about what's going on in the comic book industry from the front lines perspective. And right now, it's just the LCS guy, because we have Michael Tierney from Little Rock, Arkansas. Michael, how you doing tonight?
Real good. How y'all doing?
You know, it's been pretty good up here so far. We keep our masks on, just like Batman and Spider-Man, and so far I haven't had to stop to fight any crime. We also have special guests. We also have special guests joining us tonight. Mike Barron from Florida Man and Nexus. Michael, how you doing?
Good.
So, been a lot of things happening this past 2 weeks in comics, and I've got screens of things. Of course, last night I'm gonna take our border off. It's in the way. We lost Chadwick Boseman yesterday, which kind of came as a surprise. Did y'all hear about that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all over social media.
Yeah, that was apparently he'd been having this battle with colon cancer for 4 years and told nobody. And so he had this during, Civil War and Black Panther, and was still out there doing the action scenes. So, man had a iron constitution, but
Yeah, it's always a shame when you lose somebody so young.
yeah, 43. I remember when I was 10 years old when Elvis died, and I heard it on the radio, and I came in and told my mom, said, "Hey, the radio just said Elvis Presley died." And she said, "What did he die of?" I'm 10. So I said, "Well, they said he was 42, so maybe it was old age." 53, 40, I'd love to be 42 again sometime.
Oh, I remember back when the year 2000 was far away in date, and I'd be this old man by the year 2000. Now I look back, that guy was young when that happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I still don't have my flying car.
Yeah, I know. Where's our flying cars? We've been ripped off.
The flying cars are here.
I've seen some. I was even invested in a company that was building them for a while, but they're still pretty expensive. And I don't know how air legal they are to just take off from your backyard and go to work in.
We heard Elon Musk just put a chip into a pig's brain, didn't you?
He put a chip into a pig's brain?
They put a chip into a pig's brain as part of experimenting of creating a brain, computer, or technology interface. And he wants
lovely. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I know, exactly. You were talking about flying cars. Well, maybe he's going to have a flying pig before too long.
Dave Dyer, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, guys. Sorry about being so late today.
We technically just got started. And,
okay, good.
Just doing a screen share here. We were talking about Chadwick Boseman dying yesterday.
Isn't that terrible? God.
That is terrible. This is the article we have up on Critical Blast, which isn't anything special. It's just, recounting of the facts as they were, and the statement from his family. We do have a link here at the bottom here of the article if any of the viewers would like to check that out, which goes to the Colon Cancer Foundation, where you can, donate to help fight the battle against colon cancer. Seemed like a good reminder that we all have colons, and
yeah.
Don't like to think about them much, but things can go wrong with them.
Well, it makes me realize that I need to go out and get checked, and I'm 56 years old, so I'm way behind.
Yeah. So. I've not been scoped out yet with a camera. I don't even like the short range probing for the prostate. So, my doctor has a short term memory, so he's like, "Did we do the prostate last time?" Oh yeah, 6 months ago. That's all it was. I've been putting that 6 month thing off now for 2.5 years.
Yeah, we were at the drive-in last night seeing Godzilla, the 54 Godzilla. And, and one of my friends said that he had died, and I was like, "No way, it's fake news." And then everybody started Googling it, and sure as shit, I was like, "Wow." I'm still really stunned. I mean, I just got home from work, from the shop, and everybody's been talking about it today, and obviously it's all over the internet and on the news and everything. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, what Marvel's going to do from this point on. I mean, how do you recast something like that? So,
yeah, well, I don't know if they're going to recast. I mean, they could recast. They're going to recast Elongated Man in The Flash, just long enough to get rid of his character and send him along.
Yeah, I mean, TV show. I mean, they've already recasted Batwoman, so
yeah.
And I mean, I forget who the actress is, but they're going to keep the original Batwoman character and go on to have a second Batwoman character introduced into it.
Right.
So
they're going to pass the mantle to somebody else.
Right. But
which means the comics are going to have to do the same.
The first thing I thought about with Boseman dying, the first person I thought that could only possibly be considered would be Glover, the actor who played Landau Calrissian, the young Landau Calrissian in the Solo film.
Oh yeah.
I thought
that would work.
Yeah, he'd be good. He's about the same body stature, looks very similar. So
my money though is they're not going to recast it. They're going to give it to Shuri.
Boo, hiss.
Well, I mean, that's what they want to do in the comics, is what I understand. I mean, she got her own comic book. It seems to be the natural progression of Marvel's.
Yeah, but I think they still haven't done much. I think there's still more stories to tell with Black Panther.
Well, they can still pass the mantle of Black Panther on to someone else. One person it won't be a white guy from South Africa, but it could be just about anybody else.
No, it wouldn't be that. Okay, screen cap that one, guys. That's going to make Twitter. Hey, Dave, that guy above you there, that's Mike Barron, by the way.
Hey, Mike, how are you, bud?
Hi, Dave.
Good, man. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Good.
I was getting ready to pop over here and bring up his Indiegogo page. I got an in demand here where it's for Florida Man, the graphic novel volume 1, and he's actually got a professional looking trailer going on here, and I'm going to go ahead and play that because it's something I can do now. Here we go.
Hey man, y'all got beer still?
You've seen the stories. Now, writer Mike Barron and artist Todd Mulrooney are bringing the quintessential Florida man, Gary Duba, to life. Gary's just a regular guy living in a trailer with his girlfriend Crystal, but he's got dreams, big dreams. He just invented house suspenders that will secure any home to the ground in rough weather. And now he's going to show them off on Piranha Pool, the TV show where venture capitalists and entrepreneurs pony up if they like your pitch. But when his gal Crystal gains notoriety as an infamous amateur wrestler, she quickly advances to the pro circuit where her greatest challenge is an angry Australian grappler. Follow Gary and Crystal on their extraordinary journey from rags to riches. To rags, to riches, to rags, to riches. All while dealing with shady lawyers, toilet snakes, wild gators, cheating hearts, feral hogs, and problem shoppers. Back Florida Man today and reserve your very own copy of the Florida Man graphic novel. We're bringing back funny books, y'all.
All right.
Bravo.
Now, Michael Tierney.
Yes.
You have said for years that comic books need ads on television.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's your television ad. That's.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a lot of my ads that I ran on for my stores really were effective. So, yeah, television advertising. And what's the great thing about television advertising, this is something I couldn't convince a lot of people of, it's the most effective form of advertising for the dollar. Everybody thinks, it's going to be so expensive. But it's like with a newspaper, I mean, that's like a scatter shot with a shotgun. I mean, everybody sees it, and you're not going to the right audience most of the time. Radio is like repetitive, and they always try to sell you in radio that the more you run an ad, the more effective it gets. I found the opposite to be true. As the first couple of days, people just kind of tuned it out. Well, I've heard that, and they ignored it after that. But with television, you can say, this is the programming my potential target audience likes to watch. And so you're laying there and wait for them, right? And it's such perfect target identification. And so you're not paying for all this advertising to people who aren't interested. So I'd have people tell me, it's like, well, you must not be advertising very well because I've never seen your TV ads. I'm like, well, are you interested in buying comics? And they'd say, well, no. Then why would I advertise to you?
There you go.
It's really effective.
Well, this would sell graphic novels to me if I saw this come up on late night television. and again, Chris Braley, the guy who is putting this campaign together for Mike and Todd, is he's a professional video producer. So and it definitely showed there. So Mike, you got a good team behind you.
I know. Just not forget Todd Mulrooney, the artist. He did that cover. I originally conceived Florida Man as a comic book, and I wrote 5 scripts. And when I was done, I realized I had a very detailed outline for a novel. So I wrote the novel, and my publisher snapped it up instantly, and it was in print a month later. And he liked the cover so much that he used it for the novel. In fact, he liked it so much he's used it for 2 Florida Man novels. He's using the same illustration on Hogzilla, which is Florida Man #2. Now I'm planning Florida Man #3, and it'll have a different cover. But Todd's cover appeals to everyone who's seen it. They all love it. And Todd's doing the interiors. And there's a bunch of pages up there on the Indiegogo campaign page if you want to scroll down.
I'm doing that. Okay, here we go. Come on down to Floyd's End of Humanity sale. He's got moonshine sanitizer, toilet paper.
That's Crystal on the left. That's Gary on the right. Floyd is Gary's best friend. He's taken center stage here, but the story's really about Gary, who's that guy on the right in the suspenders.
Okay. Yeah, this is we've had you on the show before with Todd talking about this, and this looks like a fun read. In fact, I was able to pull the campaign up by going to my Indiegogo contributions and clicking on the link, because this is one of the ones that I ended up backing after I talked with you guys. This is going to be a fun one. How long I got to wait, Mike? Come on.
Oh, Todd's just working his way into it. I think it has 12 pages done. It's a 64-page story. We hope to finish it this winter. I wish you were faster, but you got to take time when you turn out quality work like this.
Absolutely.
I will say this, that it is the funniest comic ever written. It's not fake funny. It's not puns or stupid sight gags. It's gut-busting humor, and you will break out laughing numerous times when you read it.
Now, I love this scene here where they're fighting this stuff. The guy in the bunny suit.
Yeah, I think that's going to go in the 3rd novel. That Joe Comstock did that drawing.
I can relate to this because I spent a portion of my teenage years wearing a bunny suit for store openings, making like $3 an hour. A guy in our church was the manager of a chain of Piggly Wigglies, and every Easter I'd be the guy in the pink bunny suit passing out candy to kids. So
Barry McLean did this illustration.
His Miracle Cure-All.
Yeah,
I
of course,
love it.
Barry's my partner on Cue Ball.
I love it. Great artwork. Holy
now,
cow.
what's Cue Ball, Mike? I haven't heard of that one.
Well, we kickstarted it initially and got the first issue out. Very few people have seen it except for our Kickstarter backers. It's an espionage martial arts thriller.
Oh, I like those.
I'm having an echo here. I'll post some art on your Twitter feed on the Critical Blast thing, and you can show that. Then I'm going to check back in, because sometimes that gets rid of the echo.
I hear you. I'll watch for you.
All right, hang on.
I'll pull my Twitter up here just to see what I'm getting.
Yeah, and RJ, send me that. Send me the link to this. Yeah, I'm getting feedback too.
Yeah, we're all echoing.
We're all echoing. What's going on, RJ?
Echo.
I don't know. I'm going to paste the link right here in the chat as well.
Yeah, and then send it to me so I can put it on our Cosmic Comics page.
You got it. It's coming your way now.
You bet. I want to get in. I want in on this.
Well, I wish I could have got in at higher levels, but unfortunately, there are other things that got in my way financially, because I wanted to get this. I wanted to get that
towel.
That towel. I love that picture. That copper tone.
Yeah, everybody loves the towel. I think the echo's gone.
No, it's still there.
Here. It's here. All right, hang on. I'll be right back.
I'm not getting it, but then I have headphones in. And
am I getting it now? No, I'm okay.
You were echoing for a while, then it went away.
Yeah, that's weird. See, I'm on my phone. This is the first time I've done this on my phone, so 'cause I was hoping you guys will hear me better on the phone via the computer, but I can't see anybody. I mean, everybody's little picture is, yay big. So.
Oh, sure. That's because we
I
got the
know.
screen share going on.
Yeah, and you got us all over to the side here, but can you hear me better this time around?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better.
Yeah, my daughter told me to put my headphones in that has a little speaker in it.
Yep.
And so leave it to my 18-year-old smart college daughter to teach the old man here. So, but
let's see if I can get this picture to show up here. Nope. Why can't I get this over to there? That's what I want to do. Oh, I know why. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Okay, I've got to change what I'm sharing is what I got to do. So I can do that. I'm going to stop the screen share.
There we go.
Share the screen. And this time I'll share my Chrome tab and share my Twitter. And we'll have Cue Ball up there. There is the artwork for Cue Ball.
Man, what great artwork. I'm super impressed.
Now this is number 2 of 4, right, Mike? Oh, he's gone. He's coming back. Yep. He's waving at me. I'm not even got my StreamYard screen up, Mike. I'm over here looking at the picture. I didn't even know you dropped out.
Yeah, I'm back, and now there's no echo. That is the cover to Cue Ball number 2. Barry has a publisher lined up. And so he's going to finish all 5 issues. And the art is spectacular. I could post a lot more art. In fact, I think I will post just a little more of this Cue Ball art because I'm so proud of it.
Now, is this something that you're going to be able to get through Diamond or other distributors?
Yes, I don't know the details. Barry's got that plan. I don't want to give anything away, but I think he said that Blue Juice was going to publish it. And that's Kevin Smith's outfit.
Oh, okay. All right. Then, yeah, it should be distributed through Diamond.
There's the other Cue Ball cover.
Man.
That was the one we published, and I do have a number of those.
I love it. Great colorist. Who's your colorist?
I think that was Charlie Hogg. He lives in England.
Wow. Good job.
Now, Michael, how does this work for the way you do business, which is, mail order? I mean,
yes, I don't speculate on anything anymore. I used to. I'd always like, okay, this looks like something I can put on the shelves and people might want to pick it up. Now I'm just ordering what people say they want to get in advance. So,
and they've got a catalog of something, don't they? Or
well, right now we've kind of been going through a dearth of nothing. And they just started. They got previews going again. They just started making the Marvels again. There's still no catalog for DC yet. So right now it's kind of tough for customers to say, hey, here's what I want.
So you haven't been getting the DC Connect, Michael?
No, have you?
Yeah, I've gotten the first round, and I just ordered the second round that I should be getting with my Lunar order, I hope, next week. But the first round, the first DC Connect took you all the way through September for issues. So,
I've been asking about that then.
Yeah, please, because I'm not happy with Lunar anyway. So, we went through this last time.
Are they still not getting any better?
No, and they just give me excuse after excuse, even though I get all my orders in way before final cutoff, and I'm on final cutoff, and they still don't send me everything.
Well, so I'm using UCS. They haven't told me about the Comic Connect, but they've been giving me like 99.9% fills, no damages. I get my books in great shape.
Yeah, so, well, I seem to be the redheaded stepchild and everything. So.
Well, you're using a different one. You got Lunar and you got UCS.
I'm not using UCF. And Larry last week had mentioned that I could go in. I'm trying to find the email to see if I can use them. But Lunar has just been letting me down. Yeah, I mean when they shafted me on Death Metal issue 3, and they only gave me 7, and I ordered like 15 or 20 of them. Then all they did was go, well, you didn't get your order in time. Oh, bullshit. I totally did. And I was in before final cutoff, and so.
Yeah.
It's like the old college.
Now for Diamond, do you use Comic Suite?
No. We have our own system in our shop.
Oh, I
So,
wish I had a system because the Comic Suite just been a nightmare for me.
Yeah,
You
I remember when Sue and I first opened the shop, we had looked at it, and they of course they tried to pitch the whole Comic Suite. Is that the old key? And we said no, we've got our own system. And it's so funny. My daughter came out for a week before she started college, and I put her to work at the shop, and she's like, "Holy cow, your guys' system is amazing," and it's really not, but. I do my inventory through it. We can run our records, and I can see what's selling the best and all that. But it's a system called ShopKeep, so it works pretty well.
Was that designed just for comics, or is it?
No, it was actually designed, I think, for restaurants and stuff, and we just went in there and kind of turned it into a Comic Suite thing ourselves, and it's worked great. We run our website through it, and everything that's bought on our website goes right into our cash register and all that. So,
wow,
we got lucky on it. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask everybody, what was the big seller since the last time we talked, but I think I know.
Yeah. Three Jokers.
Three Jokers. Everybody's talking about Three Jokers.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to remain unspoiled on it, but
I've got two pulled aside for you there, bud.
I appreciate it. I'm trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like every time I announce how much money is in the checkbook, intentionally $10 more than that gets spent.
Of course, you have a little boy. That's why.
Yeah, I've got that too. And he had to have clothes.
Yes, he does. Yes, he's got and books and whatnot. So,
but I'm loving that Jason Fabok art, and I just hoping that there we go, make that a little bigger. Hoping that Jeff Johns' writing holds up to where I expect it to be.
Well, Jeff Johns is absolutely amazing writer. I don't know if all you guys got to watch Stargirl, but what a phenomenal story! What a great show!
Yeah,
just mind blown by it.
It's a great example of what they could do with DC Comics characters and television if they tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I had another story up here, and I'm hesitant to bring it up, but I'm going to end up doing it anyway. I just say I'm hesitant because I'm trying to make some drama. Y'all ever have an opinion on something?
All the time.
Yeah, well, Andrew Robinson, who has drawn for DC Comics and Marvel Comics, he had an opinion on something, and he posted it on Instagram about this 17-year-old in Kenosha who shot those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he has his account on Instagram is Space Junkies. He says he's a hell of a lot braver than most grown men I know. He was also giving medical aid to protesters before being assaulted and defending himself. It doesn't take too much effort to watch all the video footage. And for his opinion, he has been chased off of Twitter.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't surprise me. Because we've been hearing about a lot of other people have been giving their opinions and they're losing their positions as well. So you gotta, you know what? It's freedom of speech, but watch what you say.
Yeah, because the Star Chamber will come after you.
Yeah,
even if they're your best friends. And of course, one of the places started here was this account here. It's the artist Andrew Robinson, who did covers for Hawkman, Starman, and a bunch of other DC Marvel books, was on Instagram last night calling the Kenosha murderer. That's not slandered in any way, shape, or form. Brave. So that sucks. And almost like clockwork, here's Tess Fowler saying, yeah, heads up. He's been on this path for a couple of years now, sadly. Guess he decided to stop playing coy about it. And the only thing I can think of is as soon as I read that, is nothing about Andrew.
I can't see anything. Well, hold on, I'll show it to you.
You need better glasses? But it seems like every time somebody in comics comes out with a controversial opinion, Tess has known about it for 6 years, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's old news. We've known he's going to be doing that for forever and ever now." We see you, Susan.
Yeah, as soon as I go, I told her I was on the phone and I don't like it because I can't see any of you guys, and I don't know if you're seeing boogers up my nose or anything like that. And she goes, "Well, let me see," and I handed it to her. And that's when you guys saw her.
So I'm wondering, do comics creators? I mean, Mike, you post stuff on Twitter all the time, but you kind of stick to the, hey, here's a funny sign. Hey, here's a funny news story. Should comics creators, artists, and writers just kind of shut up?
That's up to them. I know that I don't want to get in any food fights on Twitter. I've already been blacklisted by most of the comic industry because I'm a conservative.
Yeah, that seems to be the way it goes.
I had a discussion with Andrew Robinson the other day on Twitter. We were talking about what happened, and Renfamous went after him.
Well, yeah, Renfamous is the is the guard dog for Marvel Comics. She doesn't work for Marvel Comics that I can prove. I happen to think that she's part of a publicity campaign.
Well, and I think what we've got, the issues that you're seeing is we're all business people, so we have to be careful because there's whatever you could say can come backlash either on our store or you as a writer, Mike, and or both Mikes, and and the next thing you know, somebody's boycotting your comic or your book or your shop. It's such a fine line that we are all walking right now.
No matter what you do, you're going to piss somebody off.
Exactly.
It's almost like domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
It's like when the Black Lives Matter was getting into our area, and it was trying. They were targeting people who were on city council. Well, I'm on a city council, and I had my neighbor say that people are driving by in the middle of the night, shining their lights on my house, and all sorts of stuff. And so it says, hold on, I'm getting a low battery alert on my thing here.
Oh no!
Yeah, 10% remaining. Well, I'm not going to take close. If you lose me, you know what happened.
Yes.
There it is.
So they were, with my stores. Well, now that I've closed my stores, I'm not so quite as worried about it as it was. But I had employees who said they were scared to come to work there for a while while that stuff was going on, and because hey, you're in city council, so I might get targeted because I work for you. There's something really wrong with our society where this kind of BS happens. I mean, I'm not one party or the other. I mean, I do have, my thoughts, and I'll agree with one side on some things, I'll agree with the other side on the other things. But the thing that I'm steadfast about is everybody's opinion counts. We're a nation of the sum of all our parts, and when you start trying to ostracize people for having an opinion different than yours, that's where I've got a problem. Because one person's opinion is not more important than another person's opinion. And I'll always fight to protect somebody's right. Even if I don't agree with them, I'm going to fight for their right to make that statement. They can't hear them. I really don't like to see that kind of dogpiling and ostracizing of people because I don't like the politics. There's just something really wrong with that. And I feel like Nazi Germany when people start doing nonsense like that. I mean, like the Browns out and bullying people.
And the thing is, it's not bullying. That's exactly it. It's not even the government that's doing it. It's these self-appointed guard dogs and that have these large followings that are you just point and shoot. They're weaponized crowds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you got all these brown shirts that just go hunt people down in the street and bully them on the street. When people can't walk away, from someplace without a crowd condescending on them to bully them for what they think. There's just something really wrong with that, and that really kind of scares me what the direction society's going. And I have to admit, I'm kind of relieved that I closed my stores. I just don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to deal with the employees who are afraid to go to work because they're worried they might be get targeted. And of course, there was one comic store out in California. What, it get looted like 2 times or 3 times in one night? I mean, so there's some real nonsense going on in the world right now.
Well, and it's funny you say that, Michael, because so today I'm not kidding you. I thought I was being pranked. This guy walks in, and I was in the back room, and I immediately go, "Hey, man, you got to put your mask on." And he goes, "Who gave you the okay to use my likeness on that poster?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" He goes, who gave you the okay to use my likeness on that poster? I go, what poster? He goes, that one there in the window. And I have this big giant
Where are you?
poster of the X-Men.
Okay, baby.
And
I muted him.
yeah. So there's a picture of, right in the center of this big giant vinyl poster of the X-Men is Xavier. So this guy's bald-headed, and he thinks that image on the poster is him. And I go, that's Xavier from the X-Men. He goes, yeah, okay, we'll see about that. And he walks out the door.
Sometimes people you don't
What?
even know, never see them. I had a guy come into my store one time, was getting all angry about how every image of everything was once was a slave owner. All statues need to be destroyed. Anything that was any image needs to be destroyed. You couldn't have anything in your store that he thought might have been related to slave owners. They needed to be burned, destroyed. I said, well, how firm are you that everything has to be burned, destroyed? He goes, absolutely, no exception. I said, well, fine. I want to see you burn the money in your wallet because you're carrying around a whole bunch of pictures of former slave owners in your wallet. He turned and just ran out the door and never saw him again. So, he had no defense for that one.
Nope. You had to start using Bitcoin, sir.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it is. I'm lucky. I'm in a really good area that everybody is respectful, but I'm pissing off a guy who looks like Xavier. Oh,
just direct him to CB Cebulski and say, take it up over here. And
I watched him walk up the street. I was afraid he was going to come back and keep going at it. But yeah, just
now, Mike, you said you were blacklisted for being conservative in comics. Is this something that anybody ever said, hey, you're blacklisted, or did you just start noticing that work stopped coming in and you had to hear through it through second and third and back channels?
Oh no, I've heard it firsthand. I can't name the man who told it to me because he's head of a major media company, and he was very excited to have me on board. And then he said, Mike, and then there was silence for a week, and finally said, Mike, I have to tell you because you're my friend, but we've contacted over 24 creators, have told us that they won't have a thing to do with us if we're in any way involved with you. Now, I know the reasons for this, and they're complicated, and they're unfair, and they're outrageous, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Was this pre 2016 or
no? This was in the past month.
In the past month, okay.
Yeah. But I've also gotten hate mail internationally. What happened was I was going through Twitter one day, and there was a picture of Gail Simone. And I did not register that it was Gail Simone. And the person wrote, what we need are more fat cat ladies writing comics. And I wrote, some are. It was just a snarky comment. It wasn't my greatest thought, but we've all said worse. Well, one of her minions duly reported it to Gail. And the next morning she launched an all-out assault.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. And in fact, there's a story about it on Bounding Into Comics. And it was designed to destroy my career. And she did a pretty good job insofar as regular comics go, because I'm pretty sure that that's why these creators told my friend that they wouldn't have a thing to do with his company so long as I was involved. So I no longer look for an audience among caring, compassionate liberals. I have no choice but to seek my audience on the other side of the line with people who are open to what I have to say. And what I have to say is pure entertainment. That's my number one rule. The writer's job is to entertain. It has no politics in it whatsoever. And when I write something, I seek to grab the reader by the throat and drag him into the narrative to the exclusion of all else. And I know how to do that. And one of the reasons that the traditional comics are dying is because they don't know how to do that. They've forgotten how to entertain. They've turned their comics over to, I'm not going to characterize these people, but let's just say they are not people who seek to entertain.
Now, I can't count the number of books that have been superhero books, the action-oriented capes who fight for justice. And I don't see them do anything except sit down and eat. Sit down and eat and talk. I've seen and last time I saw this happen was Death Defying Devil, written by Ms. Simone, where it was 4 issues of Daredevil eats a sandwich, cuts somebody some cake, and then has another sandwich. And it was like 4 issues to do all of that. Oh, and stand up to the devil in the street and let the old lady actually become the hero of the tale while he gets his ass kicked the whole time. So store owners, mail order guys, exactly how many issues of comics from Gail Simone actually sell in your store? I mean, is she that popular to be that powerful?
No, not my store at least. One thing I'll say that they have. I'm not talking about Gail in particular, but just the whole attitude where, if you can't, no conservative opinion can be stated, kind of more of a liberal tune and everything, that I've had so many military customers quit buying comics. I used to have a ton of police officers in all districts all around my area as customers. I don't have any police customers shopping with me anymore. I mean, it's just they completely lost an audience. It's like one military guy told me, he says he got tired of being told that he was a baby killer. And, they just, they're losing a lot of their audience because they're getting so preachy. And, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Nothing wrong with that. But, quit trying to bash other people over the head with yours.
Well, and that goes also not only in the comic book industry, but in the comic book TV industry. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I stopped watching Supergirl because it became so preachy. But now look at it. It's getting canceled.
I was advertising on it. And I don't advertise it anymore. I can't watch it anymore.
I'd like to say something about entertainment and the other side of the coin. I have a good friend who's both a police officer and a very fine comic book artist. And we're doing a graphic novel called Thin Blue Line.
Nice.
And it will blow your mind. It is written. It's one of the best things I've ever done. He's illustrating it right now.
Awesome.
Are you going to put that on Indiegogo, Mike?
I'm not sure. We're going to look to Chris again, Brawley, and see if he's interested. He's indicated that he would like to run that campaign. Cool. So it's highly likely that we'll end up on Indiegogo and or Kickstarter. We're doing both with Florida Man. But of course, Florida Man's only purpose is to entertain. There's not a political thought anywhere in there. And there are no lectures. And there are no lectures in Thin Blue Line either. My goal, as always, is to grab the reader by the throat with a gripping story, and that's what it does. It just happens to be about everything that's going on right now.
And I think a lot of the conservative comic creators who have gone through this blacklisting, and there is a list of them.
Oh, sure.
Their work is not conservative. Their work is pure entertainment. It's their personal lives that are conservative, and that's why they're being blacklisted, because they're not allowed to vote for the wrong person or think about the wrong thing. But it's, for many of them, it's almost been a blessing in disguise, because I think when they come out as saying, this is what's happened, I'm going to continue making books and I'm going to go the crowdfunding route, I think they're making more money. And I hope that continues to be the case for them, because they're the people who are working for DC and Marvel are pulling in poverty wages if you're a creator. Currently, I don't know what it might have been better back in the day, back in the 80s and the early 90s, but I think the best thing that could happen to a creator right now is for all of his peers to turn on him and say, out the door with you, so he can start up a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo and make a few $100,000.
I don't know about that. I do know that doing my own material is very liberating, and that I'm doing the finest writing in my career right now, and that's very encouraging to me. I'm very happy when I write, because I know where the story is going. I know what happens next, because I prepare the stories very carefully before I undertake a project. I do a very detailed outline, which is designed to be not only a guide to what I'm going to write, but also an ad for the story, so that I can hand somebody the outline, they read it and say, yeah, where's the book? And I surprise myself and I excite myself. And it just takes a long time to get a sense of what constitutes story, what to put in and what to leave out. But I've been doing it for so long that I feel that I know that now. And so when I write something, once I send it off, it's because I know that it's a gripping and solid entertainment. I don't let anything out of my house these days unless it's a home run. But I'm at a stage where I'm very confident about my writing.
How long does it take you to kick something out now when you sit down to write, Mike? I mean, you've got the practice at this, so.
Well, the Thin Blue Line is a 54-page story. That means there are going to be 54 pages of comic book in it. We're going to put some other material in there as well. And it took me about a week to write.
Okay. So that's not bad. 54 pages of comic in a week. You're doing a lot of art direction kind of commentary in there, as well as the dialogue and stuff. Writing a comic's different than writing the novel.
It's very different.
I love those times when you're in the flow. And Michael, we were just talking about this before we came on here.
That's big, yeah.
Where I love when I'm writing something and it's just like it's all coming and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've gotten like so many pages done here and I didn't really have to think. I just had to let the keys stroke. Michael was working on a Robert E. Howard collection last 2 weeks ago, and he was not looking at the clock, which is why he didn't show up on our show.
That's why.
I looked up at the clock. It was 1:30 in the morning. I was like, wow, I think I missed the show.
and did I get that right? It was the Robert E. Howard.
Robert Howard Art Chronology, yeah. It's a sequel
that's
to
going to be wonderful, Michael.
100-year art chronology.
Oh, the art chronology. So that's going to be like your Edgar Rice Burroughs, right? Art chronology.
Oh, right. I was working on the pulps a couple of weeks ago.
Do you have that handy?
I'm sorry?
Do you have that Edgar Rice Burroughs one handy?
Oh yeah, I got one here.
Oh, give you full screen so that Mike can see this, because Mike hasn't been on the stream when you've done the shown the art chronologies that you do. Michael is a comic book creator as well. I'm going to give him full screen here. This
one is kind of big. Here's the slipcase that you get with it, and comes in 4 volumes.
Wow!
Look at that.
Are those all the novels?
This has everything. Volume 1, get them all handled here, is all the pulps. And
oh, I got something to show you guys.
This one has basically all the pulps ever made. And I was going through, going back, finding these 100-year-old pulps, doing massive restoration to them to get them to look like they were brand new. I mean, some of these pulps I put in as much as a 40-hour week just to restore. So here's his entire history in the pulp industry. And I kind of give you a little bit of the pulp industry at the same time. And then volume 2, it's got this, I wish I could get better light on it where you can see it better. It's got a great Frank Frazetta cover from the painting that's hanging at the offices of Edgar Rice Burroughs, Inc. And this one is all the books, both hardcover and paperback, done in the U.S. and U.K. And some of these were pretty hard to find.
Wow.
And then I also give you all the paperbacks and also all the stuff done over in the UK. And some of those were really, really difficult to find. Some of the things I've got, that's the only picture I've ever seen. And then on volume 3, you get the comics. And these are just the Tarzan comics in America in volume 3.
Do they include the Russ Manning books?
This includes everything. Yeah, this has, the newspapers.
Great.
Everything was, all the Dells, Gold Keys and stuff before that. Even when you get over to the Dynamite stuff, I've got all the variant covers. And so then volume 4, this one is all his other comics in America, because Tarzan was actually his 3rd character to have a comic book. Before that, it was John Carter and Pellucidar. And so I give you all the covers on those, and both in the U.S. And then in the back section, I give you all the stuff that was published over in the UK, where they were taking color stills from the TV show and colorizing them. And they were using that. There's a great story on them, too, because what they were doing is they were using the plates from the American comics, the newspaper. But what happened was Nazi bombers had destroyed all the English plates. So they were taking Spanish plates and rewriting the story because they didn't know what the story was. And they had guys like science fiction writer Michael Moorcock coming up with basically new stories to tell you what was happening, new word balloons like that. So they're actually unique versions.
So they were taking the Marvel storytelling method where they had all the art and said, okay, put some dialogue on it.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. And they were doing it. It was a weekly comic. So they made more comics about Tarzan in the 1950s alone in the UK than have ever been made in America.
Michael, what does something like that retail for?
$250.
$250? Not bad. Okay. And where? So if I want to carry that in my shop, do I just get hold of you?
Actually, you can probably, I think you get a link on my website, but the publisher is Chenault and Gray. And if you contact them as a publisher and you want to do like a multiple copy, I'm thinking give you a retailer discount.
Okay.
Okay. Speaking, this looks heavy. So I'm going to give Mike the full screen on this one. It looks like he's got a brick of something.
Oh yeah, I got that too.
Oh, the Library of Illustration, Volume 3.
3 volume.
Wow. Damn. You guys are killing me.
There's a dog rocking on my wire here. Get out of here, you bums. Anyhow, oh yeah, you've seen these. I thought I had the only copy in the world.
I got a set of those too there. And one of the great compliments that I got was that Bud Plant featured my Edgar Rice Burroughs Archaeology on the cover of one of his catalogs, and I said, he gave it his highest recommendation. He said the only thing he could compare it to was the set that you were just showing.
That's a very high compliment. Of course, there's no book about Edgar Rice Burroughs that doesn't weigh 80 pounds.
I know.
Yeah.
And I found a gap in that thing too, because I was calling up the Burroughs people. I was like, okay, there's a gap in Burroughs history here that nobody ever noticed before, and so I managed to fill that in my book.
You know that Marv Wolfman lives in Edgar Rice Burroughs' old house in Tarzana.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's cool trivia.
I didn't know that either.
Does Marv Wolfman know it?
That's awesome.
I had an interesting interaction with Marv Wolfman when Twitter was just in its infancy, because I was watching him have a conversation with somebody about Bullseye. And of course, I know exactly when this happened. It was when Disney acquired Marvel. And they were having a conversation about Bullseye because he had created the Daredevil villain, Bullseye. In fact, I saw him at a convention and had him sign my first appearance of Bullseye on the cover, and he went off about, nobody ever remembers that I created Bullseye. Thank you for bringing this comic book in. And I was like,
that's good imitation.
Well, I was like, to be honest, it was just like the first book I found with your name on it. I didn't know that it was something that particularly special. But the conversation was about that there was a Bullseye in Toy Story now and a Bullseye in Marvel, and they were both owned by Disney. And I had a really good friend who's an excellent illustrator. And when we start talking again, I'll try to find the image that was used there. But I got a hold of Darren Goodhart, and I said, here's what I want you to do. And he came back with it, and I posted it up on Twitter, and Marv got it. Marv put it on his homepage because he just loved it. It was a picture of Toy Story Bullseye dressed up as Marvel Bullseye throwing horseshoes.
It's better than throwing horse shit.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been that.
And RJ, speaking of Bullseye, okay, everybody stick with me here. Speaking of Bullseye, Colin Farrell played Bullseye in Daredevil. Is slated to be the Penguin in the new Batman. Thoughts? Did you know that?
I knew that. I know that somebody, and again, this person, I can't remember their name either, said that they walked past him in his Penguin makeup on the Batman set and did not recognize him as Bullseye, or did not recognize him as Colin Farrell. Rather.
Yeah, I saw him.
It's Bullseye.
The commercial, and I couldn't recognize him.
Colin Farrell's a very good actor, and he's really good at being chameleon-like and morphing into different roles.
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time.
Yeah, he's a little tall.
Yeah, he's
tall
tall
for Penguin.
He's not very lanky or short and stocky and fat like Danny DeVito or the Penguin which was in Gotham. So, look, I know he's an accomplished actor. I just don't know how this is going to play out. So far, what I've seen, I'm one of these people I'm not digging what I'm watching trailer-wise on this new Batman film. So that's me. I'm very hard on my Batman.
The thing I've heard most people say is that they don't really think that looks like Bruce Wayne would look like.
Mm-mm.
It's very much a much younger Bruce Wayne, I think. I'm not dissatisfied with it, but I like anything Batman. This is the image.
Oh, that's funny.
Darren also did the artwork for that's in our T-shirt store, which, by the way, there's a link in the description, everybody in the chat, to our T-shirt store. That's one of the other things we sell because it's all about making money. None of it works. but he did the image of us for a Dr. Seuss Who standing outside of a wooden blue box with a long 18-foot multicolored scarf. And I was like, and the caption was, "The doctor's the doctor, no matter how small." So it was a Doctor Who, which I thought was funny when I came up with it. And he apparently said, "You pay me, I'll draw anything."
That's the way it should be.
So I talked about Three Jokers, but I didn't get a chance to ask you guys what you guys are seeing as being the big sellers coming down the road here that you're wanting to get into your stores and push, or wanting to avoid, saying, "I'm not even going to touch this with a 10-foot pole." You can go either way.
Well, since I've got a store, I think what everybody is anticipating, Maestro, that fell flat for me. Three Jokers doing great, but I think what everybody's waiting for is the new Ultraman Marvel series.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be really, I anticipate that's going to be quite large, quite big.
Now, is that going to be in continuity Ultraman? Like Earth 616?
Yeah, no, it's not going to be in the Marvel Universe, which throws everybody off because there's an issue that has Spider-Man sitting on the cover, sitting on Ultraman's shoulder. So
that's just a cover, though.
Yeah, but that's just a cover, right? But no, this is supposed to be sans the Marvel Universe, so it's going to be it's on its own, but it's a running series. So this is exciting because this marks the 55th anniversary of Ultraman. So
yeah.
So
about right.
Yeah, and it's big that Marvel's doing it. Alex Ross is doing covers for it. And this is the first time I've really done a Larry almost and bought a boatload of them. So it's either going to make or break me. So
that's too bad he's not in the 616 though, because there's another property that used to be in the 616 that probably isn't anymore because I'm sure they had to license it. But I remember the Fantastic Four met up with the Shogun Warriors.
Yeah, I remember that.
So Shogun Warriors and Ultraman would be a very cool kind of.
I remember Godzilla. You had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hooked up with Godzilla.
That's true. They did.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley hooked up with Godzilla.
Yep, that happened.
I don't want to talk about that. So, what do you think, Michael? What do you anticipate?
Well, there's been no interest for Ultraman in my, from my customers. Nobody's had any interest at all. But the Three Jokers has done very well, as you would expect, because they've been building up so much with the Joker War. So right now, Batman is the dominant thing. Marvel is just dying on the vine because they're putting out so little. And DC for me is doing really well because it's I get my books, I get them on time. I know I'm having a different experience than you are, but my sales on DC are getting stronger all the time.
What about Maestro for Marvel? Did that do anything for you?
Completely flat.
Same. See, they did put so much buzz behind it, and then it comes out and it fucking is dead on arrival.
There was no interest in it at all. Yeah,
none.
Maybe a couple people, and that's it.
Yeah. And I'm
guys, I got a big out.
Mike, thanks for coming. I appreciate it, man. And everybody in chat,
and I'll be happy to come back.
Hit that link below, everybody, and go check out Florida Man on Indiegogo. Get yourself some good, solid entertainment here. Mike, always welcome. Always glad to have you
thanks,
here.
Guys.
Thanks for coming.
Here, buddy.
Good fight.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed with how Maestro turned out. Three Jokers. It's got a good pulse on Three Jokers. So
yeah, well, they'd already done Maestro, and it was good then. But I think everybody kind of gets the feeling that when Marvel goes back to the well on something, it's never going to be. You can never put that lightning back in the bottle again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people before it came out were asking about it. I go, it's not out yet. It's not out yet. It's not out yet. Don't know when it's going to come out. And then when it comes out, nothing.
Nobody cares anymore. They've lost interest.
Yeah.
There's such a thing as I've always liked to coin the phrase of expiration of expectation.
Yeah.
You can only taunt people so long. It's like when the Red Hulk came out, everybody had to know who's the Red Hulk. When they finally revealed 2 years later, people lost all interest. You can't drag people out too long, and you've got to satisfy them at some point.
Yeah.
Well,
Or you've got to never satisfy them. Because that sometimes works. I mean, think about how long Logan was a mystery.
Yeah.
And up until now, how long the Joker was a mystery. I mean, the whole point of Three Jokers was Batman saying, "What's the Joker's real name?" Because he didn't even know. And that's when the Mobius chair said, "Well, there are three Jokers," and he's like, "That's impossible." Now the Mobius chair was a dick and didn't say, "Oh, well, there's Joe Napier, and then there's this guy, and then there's this guy," because that would have been, answering the question, "What's the name?" But instead, it got cagey with it to set up this Three Jokers story, which we've been waiting for 7 years, by the way.
Yeah, well, so far it hasn't disappointed. So, yeah, as far as, like I said, once Ultraman comes out, I am not at this point anticipating anything more from that anybody's talking about. So now in my neck of the woods, we're very kaiju oriented. Everybody knows I'm a big Godzilla fan. You can come in anytime and there's either a Godzilla or a Gamera or an Ultraman show playing. So, we've really lit the torch over in my neck of the woods. But I think Ultraman's going to be huge. So,
good luck. Hope you do well with it.
Yeah,
everybody
I do
has
too.
a different audience. That's one
I got
thing
a shit ton of them coming in.
That's one thing so many people get wrong about the country when they try to analyze the comic industry. It's like me with 2 stores. I knew my market in Little Rock was completely different from our market in North Little Rock. All they were was like 15-minute drive apart, separated by a river, 2 different cities, and it was completely different audiences. So no one store is the definitive benchmark for what's going to sell and what people are interested in. Every community has different interests. That's why comic store chains historically fail, because you try to get a regional buyer, say, okay, everybody's going to want this many copies of Archie, everybody's going to want this many copies of X-Men, everybody's going to want this many copies of Batman at each store, and it doesn't work. They lose money abysmally. And so you've got to know your local market, and it changes. It's like my North Little Rock store used to be the DC store. Then Dan comes along with, was it Dan DiDio or Didio?
I think it's DiDio.
DiDio. Okay, so Dan DiDio comes along and says, "Hey, I'm going to get rid of this old DC universe. Everybody's losing interest. They're going to lose. We're never going to do the 1,000 issues and all that stuff. We're going to restart everything all over." Angered all these long-term fans, and they started buying Marvel. Well, meanwhile, my Little Rock store, who were like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to give this new DC a try." So then my Little Rock store became a DC store. My North Little Rock became my Marvel store. I mean, they just flip-flopped. And one store was a huge success. The other store was a huge bomb. I mean, so everything just differs from your local customer market. And that's one of the most important things about the comic book stores, that digital is never going to be able to replace us on. And, if they don't keep back in the stores, try to keep them around, there's going to be a lot of trouble. I mean, I'm keeping my customers going with mail order now, but it just got to the point where it just wasn't financially feasible to keep my 2 locations open. I think I was almost too big for where the market is right now. I had 2 big, large stores. I mean, 5,500 square foot of retail space. That's
a lot of retail space.
Yeah, and I just couldn't keep taking the hits and the losses. When is Marvel going to start publishing again? I mean, I'm still seeing resolicitations on things from February and March.
I know.
And how long are you going to keep taking the hits?
I got a shipment.
I had other things I wanted to do anyway. I was like, what time to start the new career?
Yeah, I got a shipment in the other day, and some of this stuff dates back to October and November of last year, and I'm scratching my head because I don't remember ordering it. And so then I'm like looking up shit in my pull list, and I'm texting people. I'm like, "Did I order this figure for you?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like scratching my head, going, "Why the hell did I order it then?" So yeah, you talk about total foobar. That's where we're at right now with shipments from all these companies.
And have you noticed how so many of the stores that were going out of business with all this were stores that have been around a long time, like me, 38 years, 40 years. They're just like, you're just seeing the writing, because it's not, because we saw the market grow into the 90s. Then once we peaked in the 90s, now we've been watching it shrink, and watching it contract, and watching it become very divisive of an industry. Again, like anybody with a conservative opinion, you can't state that. Anybody who wants to buy something with a conservative slant, they can't buy it. It just they're losing their audience. I mean, they're going for such a tiny niche of superhero people with left leanings, and guess what? That's not the big major part of the population. And it's like what Mike Barron was saying earlier. Write stories that are fun. That's what people go. They go to be entertained, not to be preached to.
I agree.
You know what? You can actually sell. You can sell comics that have a very strong conservative bent to them.
Yes, you can.
because they're overt about it. They're not, subverting it into the existing stories. Dave, you sell Trump books right and left all the time because they're going to be either written by a left person or written by a right person, but they're going to be satirical and lampooning or.
And at the same time, though, I sold Barack Panther.
Yeah,
I've done the same thing.
MIB,
Barack the Barbarian.
I sold that out. I carry AOC. I have always said.
I've had them all too. I mean, I carry both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I want to cater to all my customers.
That's exactly what I do. I cater to everybody.
Yeah, but now because we're being alienated.
Political satirical comics are good investments. They'll eventually, be worth something down the road. And besides, it's historical.
Well, RJ knows one of my customers who's published some comics of his own, Tim Lim, Comic Ninja.
There you go. Yeah,
and, he did one book called Thump, the First Bundy Days, which is about Trump's election. Yeah. And he was getting attacked unmercifully online. He was being called a white supremacist. Tim is
he's Asian.
Yeah, I mean, so he put a picture of himself up on online, going, "Do I look like a white supremacist?" And just because everybody just made assumptions on, well, if you like Trump, you must be this. And he continued to do Trump-based comics, and they sell real well. He had one, the Black Hops, with the great Dave Dorman cover. Who Dave Dorman's another person who's been kind of blacklisted from the industry because he has conservative leanings. And I ordered like 35 copies, like 15 or maybe 50 copies, 15% of the print run, and Diamond shorted me every single copy. I never got my fill on those.
Wow!
I had all these people wanting to buy his book, and I couldn't even get them filled by Diamond.
Yeah. I had this one that just came in. It's called Into the Trump Verse. So it's a play on the Spider-Verse. And it's a trade paperback, and I've got it over in my political area. So.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I got a low battery, so that means I've got to check out.
All right, everybody's got a low battery, so
I've been looking at low battery for a while, but hoping I haven't been going to drop on y'all.
Michael, we could take a pill for that. So
I don't want any pills for it. No, let my battery die.
Yeah, let it go.
All right, so it's been a fun hour. I appreciate you all guys being here.
It's good to be here. Sorry I missed you that last time.
Good to see you guys.
We'll make up for that in 2 weeks. Everybody hit the links below to the Florida Man comic graphic novel. Go out there and help Mike Barron out. And we will reconvene here in 2 weeks. Come back Monday night when we have the Chenoo with Graham Nolan will be our guest Monday night at 7 p.m. So we'll be talking about his comic book, The Chenoo, which from the artwork looks just like my Abominable Snowman figure there.
I have the larger version at the shop.
Oh, cool. This is Galvin's. I stole my son's. I steal his toys all the time for.
I got the bigger one. Big one.
It's supposed to throw a boulder, but who knows where the boulder is. So, all right.
So good. All right, guys.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Yep. Be good.
Good to see you. Take care.
All righty. Bye.
Hi. Thanks for stopping by for another Critical Blast video. The internet is a big place, and we know there are lots of other places you could be other than here, and we appreciate you being here immensely. If you enjoyed this kind of content, we hope you'll return for more. If you click the subscribe button, you'll get a little notification of when we produce new video content. If you would like to help the channel out, there are many ways to do so. Just visiting our main hub, criticalblast.com, will do wonders. But if you're more of a show me the merchandise type of person, there are links in the description of this video to our t-shirt shop, as well as links to Amazon for the books we publish under the Critical Blast Publishing imprint, including the urban fantasy anthology Gods and Services and the YA superhero novel Bulletproof by Stephen J. Mitchell. Thanks again